Hello everyone, and welcome back to Behind the Bulletin, the channel where we uncover the hidden realities, untold stories, and shocking twists the public was never meant to see. Today, we're diving into a mystery that has shaken fans, startled insiders, and raised countless questions across social media. Yes, we're talking about the truth exposed. Yulong's life took a dark turn after marrying Yang Mei Mei. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did everything change so suddenly after their marriage? And what secrets have finally come to light, sending shockwaves through the entire community? Stay with us, because the revelation you're about to hear starts right now. And it's darker than anyone expected. No one understood why Yulong suddenly vanished from public life after his marriage to Yang Mei Mei. One day he was a rising celebrity with millions of followers. Next he was a ghost, no updates, no appearances, no trace. Rumors swirled like poison in the wind. But nothing prepared fans for the truth that would eventually surface. His life had taken a dark turn. One that began the moment he exchanged vows with a woman he once claimed he loved more than his own breath. Their wedding was a spectacle, lavish, blinding, unforgettable. Cameras flashed like fireworks. Reporters elbowed each other for a better angle. And fans cried tears of joy as the golden couple smiled under a cascade of gold confetti. But even then, if one looked closely, Yulong's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Some fans pointed it out, but their voices drowned beneath the tidal wave of celebration. What the public did not know was that, behind the grand facade, Yulong had already sensed something was wrong. It began only 2 days after the ceremony. Yulong returned home late from a charity event he had been obligated to attend. He assumed Mei Mei would be asleep, but instead found her sitting in the darkened living room, illuminated only by the cold blue glow of her phone. She looked up slowly, her expression unreadable. "Where were you?" she asked. "At the event." "You knew that?" Her eyes narrowed. "You didn't send me a single message." He blinked, confused. "I texted you when I arrived." She suddenly threw the phone onto the couch, startling him. "Not enough. You're married now. You report everything to me." The tone wasn't playful, nor teasing. It was sharp, edged with something he couldn't identify then, but would later recognize as control. From that day onward, the shift became undeniable. Mei Mei began monitoring everything, his meetings, schedule, his friends, even his social media passwords. She claimed it was normal, that married couples should be transparent. But Yulong soon realized transparency wasn't what she wanted. She wanted dominance. Every morning began with her interrogating him about his plans. Every night ended with her checking his phone, scanning his messages, questioning every interaction, even those with his own team. Slowly, his world shrank. His agency contacted him repeatedly, offering new opportunities, film contracts, endorsements. But Mei Mei rejected them on his behalf. "You don't need them," she said. It was with that unsettling calm. "You need rest. You need time with me." At first he believed she was simply adjusting to marriage, overly protective. But then came the day he found the hidden cameras. Tiny black dots embedded in corners of his studio room. A disguised lens inside a decorative vase. A motion sensor behind the bookshelf. Breath had frozen in his throat. When he confronted her, she didn't deny it. Instead, she smiled. "I just want to know you're safe," she whispered. In his cheek. Safe. The word twisted in his stomach like a knife. The more he resisted, the more she tightened her grip. Arguments escalated into shouting matches. She accused him of hiding things, of betraying her trust, of wanting to leave her. He denied it every time. Never believed him. Sometimes she wept uncontrollably. Other times she laughed at nothing, frightening him with a wild shift in her moods. Still, he stayed, until the night he disappeared. It was storming violently, rain slamming against the windows as if trying to break through. Yulong had retreated to his private studio in the basement, a room Mei Mei rarely entered. He needed silence, space to breathe, a moment away from her suffocating presence. As he sat by the piano, thunder rippling through the ground, he felt a dread he couldn't explain. A dread confirmed when he heard footsteps behind him. He turned. Mei Mei stood in the doorway, eyes glowing with something unhinged. "You're avoiding me." "No, I just needed time to." "You're hiding," she hissed. "You think I don't know? You think I don't see how you look at me now?" Lightning flashed, illuminating her face, twisted with hurt, fear, and something darker. "Love you," he whispered, trembling. She stepped closer. "Then prove it." What happened next was wiped from public awareness for months, until the truth finally leaked. The leaked recording surfaced first, a shaky audio clip uploaded anonymously at 3:12 a.m. No one recognized the voice at first, told by static and soft sobs. But by morning, millions confirmed it. The voice belonged to Yulong. Terrified. In the recording, he whispered frantically into what sounded like a phone hidden beneath fabric. "She won't let me leave. She took my keys. She changed all the passwords. Please, someone help me. Don't know what she'll do if..." A sudden crash cut him off. Then Mei Mei's voice sliced through the silence. "You're talking to someone, aren't you?" The recording ended with Yulong gasping, the sound of the phone being ripped away, and a choked cry before everything went silent. Internet erupted. Within hours, Save Yulong trended worldwide. Influencers demanded answers. Fans protested outside his agency. Government officials commented on the alarming nature of the clip. But Mei Mei remained silent. Her social media accounts went private. Issued no statements. Instead, she retreated into the mansion, alone. Or so everyone thought. 3 days later, another piece of evidence leaked, a security camera clip from a neighbor's balcony. It showed Yulong climbing over his own garden wall. Barefoot, soaking wet. Looking over his shoulder as though death itself chased him. He stumbled into the street, waving desperately at passing cars. But the storm was too loud and visibility too poor. Minutes later, a figure emerged from the shadows. Mei Mei. She followed slowly, calmly, holding an umbrella. Her expression disturbingly composed as she called out to him. The clip ended before anything else happened. These were forced to intervene. When officers finally entered the home, they found Mei Mei sitting alone in the living room, humming softly, as if nothing had occurred. Told them Yulong had stepped out for fresh air, but she couldn't explain the scratches on her arms, or why all the locks had been changed. Yulong, meanwhile, resurfaced 12 hours later, in a private clinic, sedated and exhausted. Finally safe from the woman he once loved with absolute devotion. What happened inside that mansion during those weeks remained shrouded in mystery, until Yulong himself spoke. He appeared months later in a televised interview. Eyes hollow yet determined. The world watched breathlessly as he recounted what he endured. His voice shook as he described Mei Mei's escalating paranoia, her emotional manipulation, the surveillance. Threats disguised as affection. "She told me," he whispered, "that if she couldn't have me, she didn't deserve me either." Silence gripped the studio. Then he said the words that sent chills through millions. "I wasn't missing. I was trapped." The revelation shattered the internet. Fans wept. Comment sections flooded with disbelief and rage. Mei Mei underwent psychological evaluation and was placed under supervised treatment. And slowly, painfully, Yulong began to rebuild his life. But one final twist emerged, a twist he revealed at the end of the interview. "Despite everything," Yulong said quietly, "part of me still hopes she gets better. I don't hate her. I just want peace." The world sat stunned. 'Cause even after the darkest chapter of his life, Yulong's final words were not anger, but heartbreak. And that heartbreak was the truth no one expected. And the storm surrounding Yulong slowly began to fade. But the scars left behind were far from invisible. Though he stepped back into the world with caution and trembling resolve, the shadows of what he endured lingered quietly behind his eyes. His story became more than a headline, it became a warning. A lesson about love twisted by fear, shattered by obsession, and the courage it takes to walk away from darkness, even when that darkness once felt like home. Cameras dimmed and the noise died down. Yulong made one final request to the public, to remember that beneath fame and glamour, real people carry real pain. His voice, steady but fragile, echoed a truth that resonated far beyond the entertainment world. "I survived," he said. "And I hope anyone going through something similar finds the strength to survive too." And with that, the chapter closed, not with vengeance, not with triumph, but with a quiet, heartbreaking resilience that touched millions. Thank you for staying with us through every twist, shock, and revelation of this story. Your time, empathy, and curiosity are what bring these narratives to life. We appreciate you more than words can express. Till the next story. Thank you for reading, for feeling here.